The following is a sponsored program paid for by Dr. Elijah Nicholas, LLC.
Welcome to Focal Point, the show where we bring you real conversations with real people, centering humanity and truth. I'm your host, Dr. Elijah Nicholas, and today we have an unforgettable lineup. Hello, beautiful people. I'm Dr. Elijah Nicholas, and I am so honored that you've joined us today. This is Focal Point, the place where stories matter, voices shine, and community is celebrated. Today, we're talking about success, love, purpose, and wellness. And yes, we're going to have some fun too. So let's jump in. Our first guest is a dynamic entrepreneur, certified life coach, and star of OWN's hit series, Belle Collective. She's not only shining on reality TV, she's producing, empowering, and building a movement that helps women rise together. Please welcome Lateshia Pearson. We are excited to have you here on Focal Point to talk about all the amazing things you're doing, Lateshia. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me about Belle Collective and what it means to see the show's impact and your story reaching so many people.
Well, thank you for your interest. Belle Collective is focused on six successful entrepreneurs in the Jackson, Mississippi surrounding areas. Um, we navigate through, of course, friendships, through business, and through issues that come about during entrepreneurship. But at the end of the day, we all come together to support each other and put our issues aside to really know and really empower and promote sisterhood. So that's what Belle Collective is really about. Oftentimes, Mississippi is like skipped over. Like, what's down there in Mississippi? What Mississippi? With me traveling the world, speaking around the world, I say Mississippi is like, whoa, what's in Mississippi? Well, there's a lot. So it was very important for me to pitch this idea to change the stereotype of what people think Mississippi is.
I love that. And so, not only are you one of the stars or the star on the show, you pitched the show. So, what was your journey to pitching, and how did, like, what you just shared about, sharing a different perspective of Mississippi, how did that go over on your journey to pitching the show?
Myself and a guy by the name of Jacoby McGee, a good friend of mine, um, I've always wanted to highlight Mississippi. That's why I created Women Brunch Mississippi, which is a platform for female entrepreneurs to network, collaborate, and really advocate for collaboration over competition. So he knew that, and he's like an Instagram, social media. So he was like, "Hey, I think an opportunity just came about for us with you to really do what you want to do and showcase and highlight these women throughout the state of Mississippi." Carlos King opened up, or I think he made a post or something that he was looking for new ideas. And mind you, he'd already had Huntsville, Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I'm a person that say, hey, let's shoot our shot. So myself and Jacoby, we put together these amazing women who've been interested in the brunch. Maybe some sponsored the brunch, maybe some attended the brunch and one of the branches. And I said, look, these are some amazing women who are doing some amazing things in Mississippi. Like, I mean, you have them building healthcare empires. These are some amazing women. And, we shot our shot and we got a call and he loved it and we loved him. And here we are.
I think that is amazing. So, kudos to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I received the flowers. I smelled them. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for receiving them. So you also help women succeed. Tell us about your journey to helping other women on their journey.
Well, Dr. Elijah, the first thing is before this became a thing of doing the branches or doing, the life coaching or just helping people navigate through life, I've been that girl. Even with me being like, I am a bail bondsman since 2011, I'm a paralegal. So I had answers to people would call me. I don't know what they thought. I was like, you think I know the answer? I don't know the answer, but I'll help you find it. And I've always wanted to be I've always been that person. Like, okay, if they're not sitting with you on a school bus, They don't want to sit with you. I'm going to go sit with you, and I want everybody to feel included. So when it comes to the brunches, Women Brunch Mississippi, I'm on a demand supply scale. That's how my mind works, and we didn't have that in Mississippi. And I attended a networking event, and to hear women say, "How can I pour into you? How can I support you?" And it wasn't just them saying it; they were exchanging numbers. It was like, "Well, this is what I need. This is what I need." I'm like, "Oh my God!" To me, that was magical because being totally transparent, I hadn't experienced that. I had not experienced that. That's why it was imperative for me to change that stereotype. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna host a brunch here in Mississippi. I'm gonna host. Well, it was called, the first one was Mingling Over Mimosas Business Brunch. I'm going to host this. I don't know if people would attend, but I do live by, if you build it, they will come. I know that I'm moving in good intentions, and you know too, when we move in good intentions, nothing can happen but the manifestation of your good, right? So I was like, whoa, here we are. That first ticket, it was only $20. I had a lady from a local church making me some grits and eggs and sausage, like just really not focused on anything more than I want these women to really connect. So the first $20 ticket, I was like, oh my God, that's $1 million, because I believe we can inspire just one. All I need is just one. So nobody else have to show up. But luckily, at the end of the day, we had over 62, 63 people to pay to purchase a ticket. When we got to the event, the line was over 100. So I had to tell the lady, she was like, we don't have any more meat. I'm like, girl, I'm from Pelahatchie, country, do some grits and eggs. And we got grits and eggs, put them in a bowl. And that's what happened. And from that, people were like, Lateshia, when is the next one? When is the next one? Women were collaborating and going on to build these businesses together. And I would see them on Facebook and they were tagging me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is very impactful. So the next one, I went to God, I said, what am I going to call this? Because this is Mingling Over Mimosas Business Brunch. And I just prayed about it, and Women Brunch Mississippi came from that.
I love that, and kudos to you for seeing the vision and then seeing the vision through to the manifestation. As we close, I want to ask you if there's one thing you have for a woman who's watching this now. What is something that you, some advice that you might have if she's wanting to become an entrepreneur, wanting to become a creative? Like, what advice comes to your mind?
Oh my God. I always say the cliche, just do it. And believe in yourself. You don't have to, don't worry if who's going to support you. I mean, your support is not going to come from the people you think anyway, believe it or not. But just do it. Just do it. And know that, if you move in good intentions, everything is going to happen. I wake up personally as a magnet, and I know that everything that I need will be attracted to me. So just do it. Don't worry about who's going to support you, who's not going to support you. If you build it, they will come. And stop being selfish by allowing fear to rob you of what you know your purpose in life is. So just do it.
Just do it. Lateshia, I have really enjoyed our conversation and I really appreciate you taking time to talk to us here on Focal Point.
Likewise. And congratulations on everything that you're doing as well. Keep doing it.
Stick around because when we come back, we're diving into love, passion, and how to reignite romance with Dr. Deb. This is Focal Point with Dr. Elijah Nicholas.
At Shari Macarons, it's where passion meets purpose, indulgence meets artistry. Our handcrafted macarons are perfect for any occasion and a time for celebration and for those who are seeking a second chance. From VIP gifting to 5-star experiences, taste what the city's tastemakers are all raving about. Shari Macarons, bold flavor, luxury experience.
Our next guest is a relationship expert, family therapist, and author of the new book, The Return to Love Playbook. She's here with powerful tips to show couples how to bring love, passion, and commitment back into their relationships. Please welcome Dr. Deb. Dr. Deb, it's so great to have you.
Hi, Dr. Elijah. I'm so pleased to finally meet you.
I am pleased to finally meet you, and I am ready for this juicy topic we have today.
Let's do it.
Listen, so speaking as a divorcee myself, I'm really interested in what we're talking about today. And we know that the divorce rate has been up for decades. So tell me, what is the secret, Dr. Deb? Why do so many couples struggle to stay in love?
So, as a divorcee myself, and you're right, the divorce rate is way up as it's been for decades. And I just heard somebody say marriage is more dangerous than skydiving. So, but I think people neglect one another, their standards go down, and they don't have the original skills to begin with. I think most of us don't grow up with a lot of relationship skills, communication, how to solve conflict. A lot of times, as little children, we're told, be quiet or go to your room, or we're not really taught those relationship skills. And then you have to put effort into love.
So how, so my grandparents were married before my grandpa transitioned. May he rest in peace. They were married 52 years. So how it like what's the secret to just like staying in love forever?
Well, I think you have to keep the sparkle going. That's what I call it. The good stuff, the fun, the companionship. But you have to plan it. You can't just let it drop. It's not going to just happen by itself. So whether it's you spend time together, you have coffee, you have dates, you treat each other well. That's the second part. I talk in the book about keeping gold standards, things like respect, cherishing behaviors, being kind, having productive conversations. And then number three is healthy intimacy. The non-sexual and sexual touch is so important. I have so many couples that say to me, "Oh, we're married 30 years, we have kids, or they're gone, and we're too tired, and it's just boring, and we don't need it." And that is absolutely not true. It is part of the foundation of a good relationship to have that touch, that bonding, that secure
Sure.
attachment.
So let me ask you there specifically on intimacy because I love that you said intimacy is so much more than sex. Because what I hear from my friends and what I've experienced personally is that usually in the first, I don't know, year or two, the intimacy is absolutely amazing, and then it just kind of like starts to drop off. So what are some ways that couples that may be watching this who may be in this position, what are some things that they can do to kind of get that spark back?
Yeah. Well, I actually have 12 tips in the book, practical things you can do that are different, keeping it fresh. First of all, I suggest to couples to really commit to skin holding until completely relaxed twice a week with no expectations. And do not let that drop because that is such a powerful moment, what I call soul to soul, sacred moment. If it becomes sex, that's great. If it's just talking, but I love that as part of the foundation.
The first thing you said, I love how you said that soul to soul, that skin contact, because that's one of the things that I learned in my marriage counseling, couples counseling over the years. And one thing we were challenged with in the past was when we're having an argument, just take a moment, hold one another's hand. And I was amazed at how like I could be fuming, like fuming mad, and then we would hold one another's hands. I'm kind of stubborn though, so sometimes I would be the one that wasn't willing. So how do you get that stubborn person like me to say, come on, let's hold hands now?
Well, I think as simple as that. I know in my therapy sessions, I have couples hug at the beginning of the session and after the session. And surprisingly, some partners that say, "Oh, no, I don't want to do that. We haven't touched in 10 years. I don't feel comfortable." And you know what? If I say to them, just try a little bit, and they do it. And do you know, usually in a week or two, they are doing the hug just great. I've had people add in a little kiss. I've had people start to say, I love you. So I think you just have to try, and it does take two. It can't be just one person putting in all the effort. The person has to be open to change and growth.
Yes, indeed. So, final question. You have plays in your book for couples. Can you give us one of the plays for couples who might be watching and ready to implement your practices right now before they go out and buy the book?
Absolutely. I think this is the first one in the book. I talk about starting with appreciation because we put so much energy into problem talk, problem saturation. And I say, start with what do you cherish about each other? Tell your partner, give them compliments, and also then add into that, check in at least once a week around what is going well, not the problem stuff. So that's an
Yes.
easy place to start.
Well, thank you. I'm going to make sure that I pick up your book, the Return to Love Playbook. Dr. Deb, thank you so much for sharing today here on Focal Point.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Deb, thank you for such practical wisdom. And family, don't go anywhere because up next, we're sitting down with an award-winning producer, entrepreneur, and music powerhouse, Dr. Melody Shari Rogers. This is Focal Point with Dr. Elijah Nicholas.
Ready to elevate your next event? Our venue is where flexibility meets style. With flat screen TVs, drop-in spaces, and private office, ceiling the floor drapes, and classroom spaces, it's perfect for conferences, meetings, and parties with free parking. Contact us today and make your event one to remember. Game Changing Men Event Venue is where purpose meets power.
Our next guest wears many crowns. She's an award-winning producer, entrepreneur, chart-topping singer, and the powerhouse behind 7th Avenue Beauty. She is all about purpose, pivoting, and power. Please welcome Dr. Melody Shari Rogers. How are you today, Doctor?
I'm doing great. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me.
You began your career as a middle school teacher. How did that experience shape your communication and leadership today?
My degree is in English education, and I did teach middle school English for 3.5 years. What I wanted to do, like when I made the decision to go in the classroom, is I wanted to be able to show students who looked like me that it didn't matter where you came from, what neighborhood you grew up in, what family you were born into, you could still be successful, you could beat the odds. And I wanted them to be able to see that, right, in real life every day. And so that was part of my purpose in going into the classroom. And, you know, as a natural leader, I was able to, during my, tenure as an educator, I was able to take my students, from a second grade reading level and get them up to that 7th grade reading level, right? And just really taking charge and knowing how to do goal setting and goal planning, and then actually putting the action in place to make those things happen. But being a teacher was amazing. I still teach now, just to a different audience, versus middle schoolers. I actually teach adults. I have a property preservation class where I've created over 1,200 entrepreneurs to date. And so I still get to tap into that love for teaching and just being a leader, a natural leader, just with a different audience.
Teaching is something that we can do across all industries and spectrums. And thank you for being a teacher and being an educator, because that's no easy feat, and we need great educators today. So thank you. So you have pivoted across many industries, from real estate to skincare, music, and media. What guiding principles would you say grounded you when you made these bold moves?
One, trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. Be able to operate in purpose in a way that is not bringing harm to others. As long as what you're doing and what you feel is your goals in life, and it's making you feel fulfilled and it's not harming others at the same time, that's always at the forefront. So for everything that I've been able to pivot and go into, it's all been things that I've been passionate about. It's things that I've naturally had a love for, right? And I also stand on the principle of, no matter what industry you're in, make sure that you're being fair to your clients, and also make sure you're being fair to yourself. right?
Yeah.
So whether for me that was bidding on a custom home or if that was bidding on a repair project that I needed to do, I always wanted to make sure that the price I was giving my client was something that they would feel good about. They were not getting the short end of the stick, and neither was I.
Absolutely. Reciprocal fairness is the thing. I often tell people that I love to project high vibrations and positive energy, and that is what comes back. So I love that you said that. Thank you. As a co-founder of Nubian TV and co-founder of Tilted Crowns Productions, you're creating space for authentic storytelling. What kinds of stories are you most passionate about bringing to the screen?
We have an amazing reality television show on Nubian called Sharnita's World. And Sharnita and her family are from Alabama. And so I'm from Alabama, right? And who would have thought that, a young lady from Alabama was able to create a reality television show that has now continued to last for so long. And I think that I always wanted to kind of put the spotlight on Alabama when it came to entertainment because we do have talented people here. We hear about New York, California, even Atlanta, right? But I always felt and knew that Alabama has a strong arts community as well, where we have actors, we have actresses, we have talented people, we have successful people, we have Black millionaire people here in Alabama as well. So just moving that mindset from the rural mindset that people think of when they think of Alabama has definitely been far rewarding for me. And so for me, I am aiming to continue to spotlight those areas that are typically not tapped into.
Dr. Melody, you are a mother, an entrepreneur, and an artist. You do a lot of things. How in the world do you balance it all?
Very good question. But what's interesting is I actually don't believe in balancing. And I say that, pretty often because I don't. I don't believe there's ever a time where there's an equal exchange of anything when it comes to all the things that I do on a daily basis, right? So what I believe in is prioritizing. So if today my daughter is sick or my son is sick, then that's the priority. If everybody's good while they're at school, I'm hustling, I'm bustling all day, right? And so then that's a priority. If there's a contract that has to be done today and it's due today, then that may be the priority, right? So I definitely prioritize versus trying to stress myself out and spending years trying to figure out something that does not exist. I don't believe that there is a balance.
Well, that is very interesting perspective, and I'm sure our viewers appreciate it. I know I've been blessed. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us here today on Focal Point.
Thank you.
Dr. Melody, thank you for pouring into us with your story and your wisdom. Coming up next, we're talking wellness, empowerment, and one of the most important transitions in a person's life with Alyx Coble-Frakes. This is Focal Point with Dr. Elijah Nicholas.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Our next guest is a social entrepreneur and wellness advocate who founded The Agenda, a groundbreaking platform dedicated to hormonal health. She's here to talk about perimenopause, menopause, and how people who menstruate and their loved ones can navigate this important season with strength and joy. Please welcome Alyx Coble-Frakes. How are you today, Alyx?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, we are excited to have you here on Focal Point today. This is a very important topic, and thank you so much for covering this issue that really isn't talked about much, especially on television. So how can partners and friends best support someone going through perimenopause or menopause?
thank you for that question. I think the first step is that we need to know it's happening. When we don't understand what's going on, it's really hard to address it with care and with compassion. So we really recommend that people with periods start to track their cycle so that they can start to see those changes early, as soon as they enter perimenopause. And so when you're tracking, you can then recognize the symptoms and you can get support from your friends and family.
Awesome. And so when I was growing up, I was always, the portion that I saw of menopause was my mother and my grandmother and my aunt's hot flashes, right? And so that's all I saw was the hot flashes. I didn't know all the other things that came or come with menopause. So what are some myths that need to be busted about menopause?
I love this question. So yeah, a lot of people just think it's the hot flashes and the night sweats, but perimenopause, and as we go through perimenopause, 50% of the hormones happen, or the changes happen in our organs, like in our reproductive organs, and the other 50% happens in our brain. This is a huge change in women and menstruators' brains. And so to understand this is a deep biological process that touches every part of our system, I think it helps us understand the gravity of the situation better. And then we can understand that we really need that support. So it's not something women can just brush off. Their entire lives are changing through this process. And so once that is, like, I think the biggest myth around menopause, it's like, it's not that big of a deal. It's a tremendously big deal. And there's a lot of stuff that we can do to feel supported. So I think that's myth number one. You're not going crazy. Your brain is changing. And there's a lot of stuff that we can do to help make that transition feel as smooth and as supportive as possible.
Wonderful. So someone watching today, what is one thing that they can start doing tonight?
Spend 5 minutes to do a cycle check-in to see where your energy mood is. Count what day you are in your cycle. So it's from whenever your last period was to whatever day you are, whether that's 5 days past your last period starting or 20 days, that tells you what day you're on. And then you can spend 5 minutes every day checking in with yourself. Because when you do that, you'll see the patterns and you'll know where you need to get support.
So Alyx, tell us about the agenda. How did it come up? Where did it come from? What's it about?
So the agenda period was the culmination of starting to understand my own cycle and then that work with other women's cycles. So when I started my company, I found that I had higher sales during ovulation. And then I was in a meditation. This is kind of a crazy, big magic story. I was in a meditation and this idea came to me to plan with my period. And I was like, that's so weird. It's like time blocking for the 4 phases of my menstrual cycle. And I was like, out of the meditation, I was like, let me go buy it and then get back to building my coaching empire. And I could not find it on the market. I have chills right now. I couldn't find it anywhere. I looked everywhere. And when I didn't find it, I was like, I think this is what I'm supposed to build. I need to build something to show women and menstruators how to work with the 4 phases, because we should be working smarter, not harder. Our bodies are not wrong or broken. They actually have left us a map for how to work with ourselves for maximum productivity. And so that's what we created in the physical product. And all of that learning has moved into our mobile application. So we're so excited to teach women and menstruators their bodies aren't broken. They are beautiful and cyclical and just need to understand their hormonal blueprint to live their maximum life of ease and joy and productivity.
Ease and joy and productivity. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Alyx. Alyx, thank you for sharing this empowering message with us. And family, when we come back, we'll close out with a powerful message from yours truly. This is Focal Point with Dr. Elijah Nicholas. Today took us on a full journey, starting with empowerment from Lateshia, moving into love and relationships with Dr. Deb, and finding purpose and creativity through Dr. Melody. And finally, grounding ourselves in wellness and advocacy with Alyx. Every conversation was a reminder that transformation is possible in every season of life. Remember, real change happens when we listen, learn, and lead with love. Until next time, I'm Dr. Elijah Nicholas. Keep living in your light and always, always choose joy.
The proceeding was sponsored by Dr. Elijah Nicholas, LLC.